How's everyone doing? It's your boy A-Dog TV, another day of Gossip TV. Today we're reacting to Hitman, Holla and Cinnamon podcast. This is the last and final part of it. I hope you guys had fun, but let's listen to it and yeah, find a verdict and see what what we think the real problem is.
I gotta wait on you to get home. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, you should have went to Miami. You should never did this. You should never did. You get to go and relax and do what you gotta do. So when today comes and I'm getting my nails and stuff done, and then I feel like it's a problem.
Why you keep saying I get to relax and do what I want to do?
Because you did. In that moment, you did. In that moment in Miami, did you have to? Only thing you have to worry about was making sure it was me and Seven good. But when you was in Miami, you had fun. So you on the beach, feet kicked up. That's all I'm saying. But when I needed to get ready for the podcast, and I felt like everything was running in circles, like. And then my mind is going, I need to go make sure Seven is good.
So she said she wasn't worried. She see how she contradicting herself. So you don't care about him being in Miami because you both of you were good, but you're mentioning he was in the beach with his feet up. Clearly was a problem because you couldn't do it while he was doing it. Was his birthday. Once again, it was his birthday. Like he went out with his friends for his birthday. You know what I'm saying? And a week before that, he took you out to New Orleans. He looked after the baby himself, and you was out with your friends. He flew all of you out together. But he went out because he's resting, and you couldn't rest. But have you even said like he didn't even the New Orleans trip? He said he didn't want to come. But obviously, you guys said no, he needs to come so he can look after the baby. So he came and he looked after the baby, but you guys went and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Yeah.
And then my mind is going, I need to go make sure Seven is good because it's like I'm in mom mode and you text me, oh, I thought everything was packed up. So now it's like, damn, let me go make sure Seven is good. Because I feel like it's circles. Like I told you,
He asked you a question to make sure I thought everything was packed up. So you should have just told him where everything was and he would have packed it. You shouldn't have come home. There was no need for you to come home. So you come home, now you're complaining about it.
A nice what I'm trying to say. I just told you, oh, if you go back to this nail salon, get this person because she do this, that. So I'm having a great time. Finna go get my hair done, and then I'm like, just get this and that. And then you say, instead of saying, okay, I got it, I thought all of that was packed. So now I'm like, I'm on the way because in my mind, I need to go make sure Seven is good. I know he's good with you, but in my mind, as a mom, I need to go home and make sure everything is good. So I have to put what I want to do on the back burner to come home to make sure everything is good. That is what I'm saying.
But hear what you just said. So your son is okay with his dad. But you as a mom want to make sure you do everything for your son. So once again, he didn't ask you to do nothing. You and your instincts, you decided to come back and look after and do this and do that when you could have just told him to do it as a mom. But in the same breath, you know that he's good with his dad. So what are you talking about? Like, make it make sense.
I never told you to come home.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're telling me I thought everything was packed up and all this. I only told you the wipes, milk, and
Cinnamon,
water.
I didn't tell you to come home.
Exactly.
So what you're texting me when I told you 10:30, whatever, and you said, well, are you going to come home and get him ready? Did you not say that? When you asked, was I going to come home and get him ready?
You text 11:30.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying when I called you at 10:50, whatever, you said, are you going to come home and get him ready?
I don't know what you said. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. Okay, so if he did ask you, are you going to come home and get him ready? It was a question. He didn't say, can you come home and get him ready? It was a question. See? He asked you a question. Are you going to come home and get him ready? Yeah. And that was up to, now you could have answered yes or no. You know, fair enough. Yeah, he was a bit inconsiderate there because obviously you want to do this and do that, whatever. But obviously he asks you that, but it's a conversation. So he asks you that. You shouldn't have been an argument. It's just a conversation. You feel me? Literally a conversation, man.
Okay, I can clearly see what's happening here. Big screen. First off, that was just an emotional dump. Like if there was a red button that we say dump it all, bam, she just slapped. That was an emotional dump. I was trying so hard to listen. I was trying so hard, but then soon later, it took like 3 turns. So like, what's happening right now? Like right now, I'll be honest with y'all, I would have to replay back her whole little monologue thing for like that 3-minute monologue or 2 minutes. I don't know. I'm really bad when it comes to time. I would have to replay that back to know like where were we at in this conversation? Because she keeps saying like I'm not irritated about you going to Miami.
Exactly.
She's irritated.
She is.
The fact that she don't think that she gets enough free time. I gotta turn mom mode on. Yeah, nigga, yes you do. I want you to know, in reality, I want everybody to know, whenever I hear like women when they do these things, you're getting irritated by turning mom mode on. That's like a nigga saying that every time you get scared, I gotta turn her husband mode on and risk my life. It's like, nigga, that's your job. A protector. Sister girl, I'm sorry. You say that like that. I don't know what this stuff is. Your nurturing mode turned on. I don't got no time. I'm sorry, but it still changes the fact that the nigga does these things for you. If he taking you to Louisiana, then he got you getting ready to go on a cruise. Like your life ain't bad.
Exactly.
Like that, okay?
Exactly.
She's having one of those things where she's just looking at the way things is for herself right now. My dear, what you're going through, the lady, if you look at a lady who don't got what y'all got, she's going through what you're going through and some. Okay? Like I think I want everybody to understand this thing. She don't have time or all these things. Yeah, they are on a podcast that they don't need to do. Like, he already got money. They don't need to do this thing. This right here is a choice. That lady, the lady who has a kid with the other guy and them niggas, are both working or whatever so they can pay the rent and feed everybody. They don't have that option. Like they ain't on a like it ain't an option for her when she going to work. Depending on how much money that nigga make, but it's not an option. So I don't got no time, nigga. You have where's Seven at right now? Where is he at right now? Let that sizzle in your spirit. I want everybody to think about that. Where is he at right now? So I'm just saying, he had points, and when he was right. You threw that thing out there. You threw that out there like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I was like you just threw it out like this. You was in Miami, like, and nigga. If he had to say that you was in Louisiana for me to say. So you was out there with your friends? Yeah. What the hell are you talking about, then? You had time off. It sounds like this nigga gives you time off. Louisiana, yeah. You get your hair and your nails done. It's not his fault that the stuff didn't work out the way it worked out, but he did that. Y'all about to go on a cruise. What's happening here? But like I told y'all before, in this conversation, professional Shaq would just tell you this. She was having an emotional moment where she needs to go in a room, beat up some pillows, and then when she come back, try to have the conversation with her. Yeah, but when she said, "Oh man, we never can have the conversation." If you think you're gonna have the conversation while you're in an emotional state, my dear, which means you're not actually listening to yourself or listening to him. It depends on if he's in an emotional state. If y'all both in an emotional state, you ain't have no conversation. Now, in actual reality, he needs to fix that. He needs to fix the emotional state where if he doesn't hear you no more, but you in an emotional state, brothers, niggas, the people who are darker than the color blue, I want y'all to understand. Lady, forget about it. What we are is in today's society right now. When it comes to women, like how women are right now, how society have made them, forget about it. You ain't finna do this thing. You're lucky if when she get an emotional state, within 3 hours later, she come back and say, all right, I calm down, let's do this thing. That right there is an angel. But if y'all think you gonna find a lady who gonna just turn that off, nigga, please. Well, I feel like they both was triggered in this, but he had some points. Oh, that dude, man.
Yeah, definitely he had some points. And I believe that when it comes to relationships, both partners are angry and raising their voice, it's time to just take a break. Because both partners raising their voice, you're not going to resolve nothing. When one person says something, you're going to look for the triggering word or the triggering sentence from whatever the person said, rather than trying to understand what the person's saying, backwards and forward. That's how you're going to be dealing with it. So I definitely agree that both of them was emotional, but she was very emotional. She was trying to explain. She's complaining about something, and then the same breath saying she's not upset about the situation that she's complaining about. If you're not upset about it, why bring it up? That's the way I see it. Clearly you're upset about it because you brought it up. Let me know in the comments, man. It's your boy, A-Dog TV, another day of Gossip TV. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, press the hype button, and I'm out. Peace.